Welcome to Bread for Daily Living with your host, Patty Wimmers.
This is Bread for Daily Living, and I'm your host, Patty Wimmers, and we're continuing to talk about choices, the choices we make, our thought life, what we say, what our heart is thinking, and what's really going on inside us and all around us, because it seems like today we are in a time of great turmoil, even nationally and worldwide. Finances, leadership. So it's up to us. You know, the family is the core of any nation. If you have good family groups, you'll have a good nation. And we need to get back to family. And I know that it's difficult. There's so many divorces going on in the church and out of the church. And we need to learn how to forgive. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. We're still talking about choices. Sometimes you make choices that actually make your mate upset with you. And you need to apologize and just, do some thinking. Again, think on what we've been talking about. Think on what's lovely, pure, and of good report. That's in Ephesians. Making good choices. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Life and death. You can speak death over a situation. If you continue to tell your child, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're crazy, you're ugly, you're terrible, I don't like you, he will begin to believe it. And it may take years to get out of that, to realize that he's special. I know with the special needs children, I've worked a lot with those over the past few years, we always try to encourage them, to lift them up, and tell them there is always something they can do so that they feel valued. That's important. Because of abortion, I think, and the idea that man came from ape, man does not feel valued. We value animals. We put a price tag on that. Now you can't kill the animals. Gee whiz, you kill a turtle or something that's still in the egg. Gee, it's a real turtle in the egg, but the baby in the womb isn't. See, we've devalued human life. We don't think on whatsoever is lovely, pure, and a good report. We are created in God's image. We are to be thinking like God thoughts. What you're thinking, would God be happy with it? Would he? I got news for you. A lot of what's going on up here, God would not be happy with at all. Not even a little bit. Because, I don't know about you, but so many times I have all these negative thoughts, Well, I'll never get this, and I'll never, and I'll never, and I'll never. And I'm like, no, you won't unless you sit down and start doing something. And that's one of the reasons. My son had told me, get the iPad. He told me exactly what to do, how to set it up, and how I send it to him. I put it in Dropbox and send it right out to him, and then he puts the front and back on, and then he puts it up on YouTube. There's not a lot of editing or anything that goes on right now, and, it took me a while to get the lighting. I didn't like yesterday's or the day before. Today I've been able, this is the third one I'm taping. See, there, tape. It's not tape. I don't know what you call it. Videoing? Videocast? Whatever. I think it's so neat. You can put it on Facebook, and all your friends can see it. You put it on YouTube. It can be seen around the world. I remember what we paid for airtime to cover the United States with television and to cover Central and South America and the lower part of the United States with radio. And the whole eastern seaboard just about. That was a lot of money. Here, it was the investment in the iPad and investment in my sitting here, being disciplined enough to sit here and to talk to you and tell you it's a choice that I've made. And I'm going to continue to do it. I'm not going to stop. I don't know if anybody's listening. I hope you are. And the most important thing I hope is that you're being encouraged, that your faith is being encouraged. I know when I wrote my last book about faith, A Force to Be Reckoned With, I was going through some really rough stuff. I got to tell you, that book really helped me. I'd go back to proofread it. We didn't really have somebody that really knows how to proofread, so I'm not saying it's really written real good because of the proofreading thing, but I'd proofread it, and I'm like, wow, that's just what I needed today. You can get that book. We can email it to you, and you can open it up in iBook if you have an iPad. It can be done that way. Or we're in the process of trying to get it into print. And that's hard. Got to get all the pages the right way and everything. So we can take it to the printer and have it printed at minimal cost. And then we can just put combs on it here at the house. But, you know, if you want to, please just email us, pwimmers@aol.com. Or write to us at Post Office Box 3902, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33424, I think is what it is. Anyway. Thinking. What you are thinking, your thought life. Does it really give God the glory? Okay, life and death are in the power of the tongue. So what I say is either going to bring life to me or it's going to bring death. It's going to bring death to others or life. When you bully someone, when you harass, and you think about this, there are now laws on the books about bullying. And in the classrooms, they've got big signs, you know, don't bully. They bully. They put nasty stuff on Facebook about kids before they've had a chance to say that, you know, to eliminate that person from their Facebook. They text them terrible things, and you know what happens? Some of those kids, at least here in Palm Beach County, Florida, have committed suicide. Whoa. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Say it with me. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. One more time. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And we need to choose life. We definitely need to choose life. We need to choose it, okay? We need to clean up our thought life daily. We need to think, all right, let me just, you know, take your thought life through a filter. You know, when you fix spaghetti or something, you put it through a drainer so you have the spaghetti and you have the water drain out. People that pan for gold, they all the water and stuff they have go out while the gold stays in. Well, we want your thoughts to be like gold, purified, refined. So I've got to take them through a strainer. I have to take them through the fire. I have to let the Lord take them through a fire so that I can look and see what's left. Do you know that every word you speak will be held accountable for? Excuse me. Every word you speak, you'll be held accountable for. Ooh, I don't know about you, but that's a toughie. How many times have you and I said things that we really wish we hadn't have said? In James, it says that no man can tame the tongue. It is a fire inside the mouth. That right there. If you don't have a tongue, you can't talk. If your teeth are not exactly right, it's still hard to talk. But you need the tongue. And he said, who can bridle it? Only the Holy Spirit. It says, if you walk in the Spirit, you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Let me tell you this, my story that I always like to tell. You know, because it talks about they bridle a horse, and the bridle on the horse, you can turn this huge horse wherever you want, or the rudder on a ship, you can turn it, and you turn the entire ship, just a little tiny rudder. And this is a little tiny tongue, and it will turn your life upside down, or right side up, whichever way you choose. Whether you choose to speak life or choose to speak death. When I was 5, my grandma lived on a farm, and all the men were on the front porch. It was after Sunday dinner or something. Anyway, it was after we'd eaten. All the women were in the kitchen doing the dishes and cleaning up and putting the food away and so forth. And I had gone out to ride the horse, which was not unusual. I did that. My uncle had taught me how to ride. She was a show horse. I could do tricks with her and all kinds of things. Anyway, I got on her and I started riding, and all of a sudden she started running for the fence. Now, I talked to my dad later about that, and Dad said he and the men did not know what to do. It was like there was nothing they could do except sit there and watch. I'm like, I cannot imagine what my father must have felt like. His little 5-year-old. If I'd have gone over the fence, I would have broken my neck and been dead. Gone, over. And in my mind, I really believe now that the Holy Spirit reminded me of what my uncle said. Calvin had said, if she runs, pull on the reins, turn them, and kick her butt. And I did that, and she turned, and she started to walk. Ah, wait a minute. 5 years old. Big horse. Pulled a little on the reins, and the horse did what I wanted it to do. Only the Holy Spirit can tame your tongue. Because you say things you shouldn't say. We'll never have any money. You probably won't. I'll never get well. You probably won't. My kids are never going to behave. They probably won't. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. You have got to really realize that. It really is life and death in the power of your tongue. Let that be bread for your daily living.